Welcome to the General Administration of Traffic and the Licenses Affairs Department. Holotech Group also welcomes you to the self-service program of the Unified Theoretical and Electronic Training. Traffic signs. While driving on the road, the driver notices the presence of a large number of different shapes and colors of road signs, which are installed on poles on the sides of the streets and intersections. Traffic signs are placed in order to inform drivers of an important information that facilitates his use of the road on which he is driving, and to avoid the occurrence of an accident that may endanger his life and the lives of others. Let's start learning driving in the right way to reach a combination of both safe and professional driving on our country's roads. Let the tour begin. Driving guidelines and prohibitions. For an individual to be fit to drive a vehicle, he should be physically and mentally fit. Therefore, he must avoid some harmful behaviors and always be ready to deal with different circumstances that may be encountered during driving, as follows. Physical fitness and vision power. Physical fitness and vision power are very important during driving. They are connected to each other. Even normal health problems that the man may encounter, such as cold or flu, or even headache, have an effect on senses unevenly from one person to another. Hence, these problems reduce the concentration and response to the situations during driving. If the driver feels at any time that he is not in a good health, he has to stop driving and let another person to drive. And if this is not possible, he will drive accompanied by another person with great concentration and attention and avoid dangerous places. Anger during driving. Many drivers may make mistakes on the road, and some persons will be angry when seeing actions of other drivers. This anger may lead to act violently, and the driver can avoid being a victim of anger and violation through the following. When observing any mistake made by others during driving, he has to remember that he may also make a mistake. Keep calm at a safe distance between your vehicle and other vehicles. Drive cooperatively, considering other road users. Treat other drivers as you would like them to treat you. Confusion during driving is the inability of the driver to avoid hazards upon occurrence or involving himself in situations that subject him and others to danger. Main causes of confusion during driving are: inability of the driver to predict the danger resulting from certain actions of other users of the road in a proper way, lack of sufficient experience in certain situations in order to avoid the danger when it happens, failure to read or understand traffic signs in a good way, failure to read or understand road markings in a good way, failure to read emergency situations in a good way, lack of monitoring and collection of information from the road, lack of knowledge of traffic law with regard to dealing with the road and its users, lack of concentration and absence of mind. Drowsiness during driving. Drivers sitting behind steering wheel who have no enough sleep subject themselves and other innocent users of the road to death. Collisions can occur when the driver is tired and fall asleep while sitting behind the steering wheel, loss of concentration as a result of driving for a very long period without rest. The driver must stop driving and take some sleep and rest if any of the following starts to occur: yawning continuously, deviation out of the lane, turning a blind eye or foggy in his vision, facing problems with his head in a straight position. Increase or decrease the speed inadvertently. Not remembering the last few kilometers of the road. Fatigue and stress during driving. Driving under the effect of fatigue and stress forms danger to the driver and other users of the road. So the driver, when feeling fatigue or stress, has to stop and take some rest. To avoid the feeling of fatigue and stress while driving, drivers must act as follows. Sleep well before start moving with the vehicle. Avoid driving for a long period at the end of the day. Avoid driving between 10 p.m. and 6 a.m. Share driving with others if possible. Stop for 15 minutes every 2 hours. Stop the vehicle when noting indications of fatigue. Avoid eating fatty food and to eat snacks. Drink large amount of water, as drought may lead to fatigue. Avoid excessive drinking of coffee or sweet soft drinks. Stop before feeling tired. The effect of alcohol on drivers while driving. Alcohol is a painkiller that leads to the reduction of the activity and the vitality and affects the driver's abilities to drive safely because it slows down the speed of brain functions, which weaken the ability to respond and take a quick reaction. Affects the driver's estimation of the speed with which he is driving and that of the neighboring vehicles in the distance that separates him from them, pedestrians or other things on the road. Gives false confidence, which may lead to the possibility of accidents as the driver believes that his skills in driving is better than in reality. It increases the difficulty to do more than two things at the same time. While the driver's concentration is focused on guiding the steering wheel, he may miss the view of the traffic lights or the vehicles coming from the side roads. It makes the driver feel sleepy. Effect of narcotic drugs on drivers while driving. Medicines and narcotic drugs taken by the driver without supervision of the doctor affect the ability of the driver to drive in an appropriate way. It could have a negative effect on the concentration, mood and the ability to take decisions and the reactions while driving. So, be careful not to take medicines with label that warns to avoid driving when taken. And to read the medicine prescription or seek a doctor consultation about the effect of the medicine on driving. Medicines that have an effect on the driver while driving. Some medicines for the treatment of blood pressure, nausea, allergies, inflammations, and fungal infections. Tranquilizers, painkillers, and sleeping pills. Some diet pills. Some cold and flu medicines. The effect of mental distraction on driving a vehicle. How the driver reduces distraction phenomena. Decreasing distraction means decreasing the risks of collision. As the driver cannot do more to reduce sources of distraction outside his vehicle while driving, so sources of distraction can be reduced inside his vehicle as follows. Avoid browsing mobile phone or making a call while driving. Collect all unfixed things inside the vehicle and put them in a bag, box, or in the trunk before driving. Ask passengers to keep quiet and not to divert your attention. Stop turning the radio or switch on the CD player while driving. Do not be occupied by looking outside the road, for example, reading an advertising poster, traffic accident, etc. Effect of using mobile phones while driving. Mobile phones make drivers busy and make them commit mistakes that lead to doom or make their reactions slow. Common mistakes that may occur as a result of using the mobile phone are: to enter and exit lanes on multi-lane roads or deviate without attention in a wrong way. Unstable driving, example, increasing or decreasing the speed without a reason, to face difficulty in keeping the track distances appropriate with vehicles at the front. To face mistakes in estimating distances and be aware of the safe gaps while moving. To avoid traffic accidents resulting from the use of mobile phones, the driver must follow the following. To get used to use the mobile phone only when the vehicle is completely stopped. To ask any of the passengers to answer the incoming calls on the driver's phone while driving. Switch the phone to receive voice messages instead of answering the calls. Driving in glare of sun ray. The climate in Qatar is very hot and sunny in most times of the year, but it is hard for the driver to see the road in the front when driving facing the glare of the sun ray at sunrise or sunset. The driver has to follow the following guidelines while driving in the glare of the sun ray. Reduce the speed at these times and circumstances. Pay attention to traffic motion and potential risks around him. Put sunglasses when driving and facing the sunlight and use the sun visor to reduce glare of the sun ray. Driving in rainy weather. Rain makes road surface slippery, especially at first drops of the rainfall. With more rainfall, the contact of the tires with the road surface decreases, which needs longer distance to stop when the road surface is slippery. Vehicle sliding. It may be difficult to know when the vehicle is subject to sliding, and the driver may feel that the steering wheel does not respond and the vehicle is swaying. Sliding is occurred as a result of common factors including the speed, tires pressure, tires condition, and the road surface condition. To avoid vehicle sliding, the driver has to reduce the speed to less than 80 km per hour when necessary, where exceeding this speed greatly increases chances of vehicle sliding. To avoid this, the driver has to reduce the speed to less than 80 km per hour, drive in the lane of the vehicle in front of the driver to keep maintaining away from it by a sufficient safe distance, and if possible, try to drive in the middle lane and remain in it because water tends to gather first in the outer lanes. Grasp the steering wheel firmly and avoid braking or increasing the speed. Reduce your speed gradually by releasing the accelerator. When feeling that your vehicle is under control, brake gently or increase the speed. Guidelines to be followed by the driver in case of vehicle sliding. Switch on the warning lights. Reduce your speed gradually by releasing the accelerator. When feeling that your vehicle is under control, brake gently or increase the speed. Look at the mirrors to know if there are other vehicles approaching too close. Guidelines during rain. Vision may be difficult in heavy rain, and the road may be flooded with water. Droplets from other vehicles may cause the loss of vision by covering the windscreen and windows. In these conditions, the driver has to use the windscreen wipers to obtain clearer vision, reduce the speed to a great extent. In very heavy rain, vehicle must be stopped at the side of the road and wait until the rainfall stops. Switch on vehicle front lights. Driving in fog. Fog causes the reduction of visibility level, and driving conditions become dangerous. If the driver could not postpone his trip until settlement of fog, he has to follow the following guidelines. Reduce the speed because as you drive at slower speed, you will have better time to stop and avoid danger. Use low headlights or fog lights where vision is hard to the driver and other users of the road in heavy fog. Fog intensity may vary from light cloud to heavy cover, and when the driver enters into fog, he should look at vehicle mirrors and use the foot brake gently so that his vehicle lights warn other drivers. Make sure that high light is not lit by mistake, because high lights make the light higher inside fog and make vision harder. Keep watching the speedometer, because studies indicate that some drivers are used to driving fog conditions and gradually they increase their speed. If the driver cannot see the road in front of him for more than 12 meters, he has to reduce his speed to less than 40 km per hour. Use the windscreen wipers and humidity remover. Be aware of other drivers who do not use their headlights. Reduce and adjust speed continuously. Keep a sufficient distance between you and the vehicle in front of you. Use the right edge of the road as a guide while driving. Driving in sandstorms. Sand forms danger on the road, where stability of tires on the road surface decreases, as well as it is hard to know the edge of the road, and dust flying from the vehicles headed to the driver may block unexpected risks. For example, other vehicles, slope or corner, and the dust spreading on the windows may reduce the visionability of the driver. So in sandstorm conditions, the driver has to do the following. Reduce the speed to be suitable to the condition and the level of sandstorms. And to ensure security, the driver has to stop. Keep a safe distance from other vehicles. Drive at safe speed suitable to road conditions, because the driver may need a longer distance to stop. It would be better to not drive the vehicle in hard vision because of weather conditions during day hours, except by using the following light. Convergence light, 2 rear lights and number plate light. Switch glare light to convergence light to prevent dazzling vision. Any red light must not appear in the front of the vehicle. Driving at night. However may be the driver's skills in driving, sometimes there are circumstances that require more effort, attention and concentration, such as driving the vehicle at night. So it is recommended to take the following into consideration when driving at night. Make sure of the cleanliness of the windscreen, as if it is not clean, it may lead to eye fatigue as a result of dispersion of light. Don't use the high beam lights when meeting others. It is better to use the low beam light inside cities and the high beam light on the outside roads, except in the following cases. 1. If there is a vehicle near ahead of you. 2. If there is a vehicle in the opposite side. When any other driver attempts to harass you, reduce your speed and keep at the right lane until he overtakes you. Avoid looking at the dazzling light emitted from the opposing direction that strains the eyes. Don't turn on the internal lights of the vehicle while driving except if necessary. In case of overtaking, use the low light in order not to confuse the others in front of you and adhere with correct overtaking procedures. Never use the horn at night, and when needed, use the intermittent high beam light to warn others. Heavy vehicles. Heavy vehicle drivers are professionals, spend most of their working hours on the road. The driving of heavy vehicles is considered a challenge because heavy vehicles are larger, longer, and more difficult to control. Light vehicle drivers can make driving of heavy vehicles more difficult when they do not know slow acceleration, braking, and the area that heavy vehicles need. However, heavy vehicle drivers need to drive in a way that allows them to take safe actions if light vehicle drivers did unexpected things, and it is important for drivers to realize braking distances necessary to stop if unexpected matters occurred, and give special importance if the vehicle is loaded and road surface is slippery. 1. Vehicle inspection. The time spent in inspecting your vehicle is an investment in your safety and the safety of other drivers as well. So you have to conduct the following checks every day before start driving. 1. Check of vehicle circumference. Inspect vehicle circumference and look for any of the following problems. Vehicle inclination. If there is an inclination in the vehicle at one side, look for a punched tire, overloads, or incorrect loading. Also, maybe a fault in springs. Loading. Make sure that trailer doors or loading doors are closed and locked, and all the ropes, ties are secured. Load safety. Movable load constitutes risk, so make sure that the load is loaded well, distributed equally, and the cover is fixed. Load height. Make sure that you know the highest point in your vehicle from road level, so you need to know height of your vehicle when you are planning for your route to avoid low bridges. Damage of vehicle. Check if there are cracks, lost or loose parts. Leakages. Check vehicle underneath and look for any signs of any leakage of oil, coolant, greases or fuel. Wheel rims. Check if there are damages on rim of each wheel, where damaged rim lead to loss of air pressure. Check of wheel nuts. Check also if there are any signs of leakage of greases or oils. Spilled or leaked greases may lead to fire or lock of wheel, and if any nut is lost or broke, stop to replace it. Tires. Check tires and never drive the vehicle if there are any signs of damage, such as bulges or smooth spots, because this may lead to blow up of the tire. And it is a mistake to neglect this under the pretext of the vehicle is heavy and provided with many wheels, thinking that problems in a tire or two may be neglected, but the opposite is the correct. Negligence of this will lead to unbalance of the vehicle and may create a dangerous situation when one is blown up, especially when the vehicle is loaded. Tire pressure. Check tire pressure because low pressure in the tires at steering axis makes it difficult to use steering and causes the accumulation of heat inside tires, and low pressure in the double tires may cause friction, fire, and their blow up. Also, the vehicle shall not brake or turn safely as it must be. Damaged rim may lead to loss of air pressure. Spacing between double wheels. Check the area between double wheels. Existence of any stones or mud between wheels causes imbalance of wheel and damage of tire walls and tire direction, and may fly to other vehicles and subject their passengers to risk. Spacing between brakes, disc and wheel. Check the area between brakes, disc and wheel. Jammed things may damage brakes and the tire. Fuel system. Check by hand that tank lid is closed properly and that there is no fuel leakage. Two. Check of engine. Look for any damages in the circumference of engine, especially in steering mechanism or suspension. Then follow the following checklist. Liquid level. Check engine oil level and coolant, radiator, battery solution and windscreen washing water. Check automatic transmission and automatic steering liquid reservoir and add liquids if necessary. Leaks. Look for any signs of oil, water, or brake fluid leakage. Check for any leaks before moving. Electrical system. Check electrical wires and fix loose wires before moving. Belts and rollers. Check belts of generator, water pump, air condition, and air compressor. Make sure that they are in a good condition and not worn, and whether they need adjustment or replacement according to instructions of vehicle manufacturer. Three. Check driver compartment. When entering to the vehicle, check the ladder, handles, door handles for buses, check bars and operation of door mechanism. Emergency and safety equipment. Make sure that you have all equipment such as fire extinguisher, first aid kit, reflective triangle, safety belts, covers and ropes to cover and tie the shipment. Mirrors and windows. Clean all windows and mirrors. And check the condition of windscreen wipers, water spray, and check correct adjustment of mirrors. Starting the engine. Before starting the engine, check that parking brake is raised and start the engine and leave it at idle speed until full pressure appears on meter's panel. With the increase of engine rounds per minute, little until water temperature meter start to increase. Vehicle information panel. While engine turning, check correct operation of all tools and meters. Four. Brake checks. Air brake vehicles. Make sure that air filter is not blocked and whether there is oil with the outlet air. Maybe there is a problem with the compressor. The mechanic must check this matter. Do not forget to close taps after that. Check that there is an increase on air pressure meter after turning the engine on. This must take less than 3 minutes. Note loss of air pressure at the last stop, and if the loss is more than 1 kPa, there may be a problem that needs help from the mechanic. Low pressure emergency system. Turn off the engine and reduce air pressure by pressing on brakes pedal. Check trailer brakes. Check whether air hoses are damaged, leaky and properly connected with the tractor. Hydraulic brake vehicles. Press brakes pedal down firmly 3 times for 5 seconds. After 5 seconds, if you felt that brakes are sink, that means there is leakage in the system. These leaks must be